All right. It seems like it is good. Ty, did it ask you for permission to stream third party?
Yes.
All right, brother Ty, how you can you sound check? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Cool beans. So yeah, we good to go. It's set up, it's streaming live, and it'll be in the archive. So I make sure that you get a copy of this, with a link to it, so you can send it out to your audience as well. So I'm ready to get started, man. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Well, let me first begin by thanking all of our viewers. Your host Cy Smith here. Anytime that I come on, you guys, I'm gonna bring to you somebody that I feel is very important to the work that we do as Black people in the world to make conditions better for us. So the person I'm about to bring on to you now, this brother is in the same state that I'm in right now, and he's doing some wonderful work. And think about it this way, you guys, what matters is what you put inside your body. The person I'm about to bring on right now is someone that you should know when it comes to what you're eating. So, with that being said, brother Ty, you ready to come on and introduce yourself to our audience?
Yes, sir. Greetings, everyone. My name is Ty Simmons, co-founder of Human Agriculture Cooperative and CEO of Utopian Community Grocery.
Now, you got a picture you can put up, Ty, so that way they can match your face. Because that's I want to make sure our leaders can share this clip with other people so they'll know who you are and why they should do business with
All right, I'll come on Zoom here in a second. Just give me 1 second.
you. Yep, excellent. So in the meantime, though, just walk us through, man, your background. Like first, how did we meet? Let's start there, and then walk me through your background.
Well, we met through one of my mentors, who basically suggested that I get in contact with you. You had the one of the largest database of Black people, so he wanted me to contact you and share the things that we're doing.
And that's brother Chili Mo, right?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to brother Chili Mo out there all over the world, you know. So yeah. So who are you, man? Are you married? Children, state, all of that stuff before we get into what you do.
Right on. Father, grandfather, born and raised in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Went to college out in California. Graduated with double bachelors and three associates.
Mm.
Came home from college and worked in the corporate world and just felt like it wasn't for me. Um, So what I did was me and my mentor created Human Agriculture Cooperative, which is a farming organization. We started with $40 with a couple little small plots in the city. Eventually, we had a youth program, and then it's evolved from that $40 plot to almost $2 million in donations and grants. We've trained over 400 people, young people, and community members in farming. We write grants. We've written one of the largest grants for Black farmers and socially disadvantaged farmers in Indiana called the LFPA. And our whole thing was our mission is to educate, train, mentor, feed, and employ our youth in farming, food distribution, racial and environmental justice, and vocational training. Because our goal is to create a system where we can be more sustainable for every Black community by utilizing and working with Black farmers, white farmers to create a better food system. I tell people I consult from soil all the way to the retail because the last part of our mission is to control our own grocery stores within Black communities around the country by working with Black farmers and other farmers to create a different food system. Working directly with the farmers, not only is the food healthier, but it's also more economic and also it keeps the money within your community.
But you went all the way in, man. So let me I made some points here so we can backtrack here. So just so our leaders know, Fort Wayne, Indiana is where most of our audience is Chicago.
We're about 2.5, 3 hours from east of Chicago, right on the border of Northeast Indiana, and the second largest city in the state.
What's the demographics? A lot of blacks, 20%,
Uh,
50%, what?
yeah, we're like 40,000 of the 300,000 population. So it's a small population. We had a larger population, but of course, Black flight. A lot of our young people are moving to Atlanta, Chicago, bigger cities. So because it's the same situation wherever you go. Most of our disparities in the Black community, they aren't by accident. It's by the system. So we have to either build our own system or keep fighting their system. So I think we should have to
Nah,
do both.
well, that's the beauty why Chilimo wanted us to connect because of the structure and system that we have. Then you take a subject matter expert like yourself, and we cooking. You know what I mean? And so that's a beautiful thing, I think. And I wanted to make sure our leaders on the west side of Chicago, east side, and south side all kind of knew where you came up at. Now, what's your Chicago connections? You got any ties in Chi-Town?
Yeah. Of course. My mom actually was born on the south side of town. I was actually quote unquote conceived in Chicago. So, but I was born and raised in Fort Wayne. I still have family members on the south side of Chicago. A lot of friends and on the south and west side of Chicago. I work with several organizations in Chicago even to this day, because again, food system, the disparities we have isn't by accident.
Big time. Now, very intentional. So now you mentioned about the big picture vision is to really pretty much from the soil all the way to the dinner plate. That's the vision. So how do you mentioned that you also financially you pretty much gotten yourself the largest grant. So how do you see what you're doing already plugging into existing people that's already in the field doing this type of work? How do you see the integration being there?
Well, our biggest goal is called Share the Harvest, where we secure land in several areas in the United States, work with local partners, and grow food and start our own education and vocational training center. Because if we can create sustainable pockets of not only food, but education and knowledge, it'll help the new leaders go into the next rail. So our thing with working with other farmers and other people in the industry is we have over 400 Black farmers. We have 300 white farmers ready, over 300 white farmers ready to create a new food system from Miami all the way to Minnesota. What does that mean? Well, what that means is at any given point, we can assist people in Chicago throughout all the way to Miami with purchasing food in bulk, because most people don't understand. It's just like everything else in this industry. Once it gets to the retailer, the grocery store, they've already added about 80% more profit to what you could purchase the food for. Our plan is to get the food directly from the farmer, directly from the supplier, distribute it directly to the communities by working with churches, certified kitchens, and what we do is we have a prepaid order on our website. Is ucgfortwayne.com is our grocery store, and what that does is uh, with a minimum order of $1,000 or more. What your church or your organization can do is order vegetables in bulk, meat in bulk, chicken in bulk, seafood, fish, all in bulk. And then what you do is you break it down like our families used to do. Break the food down. That's why we call share the harvest. Break the food down for individual family portions. Me personally, I don't eat 40 pounds of chicken wings, but I make sure I get me a case and then I break it down to individual portions where it saves me. Right now, chicken wings are like $4 or $5 a pound. We're doing chicken wings at like 275. So just the mere portion of just vegetables, chicken wings, everything. Our whole thing is to build a network of black people and white people that want to help black people have a better food system.
Yeah, and let me put this out there so people know. Even during slavery, you had white people who risked their lives to make sure that black people escaped and was free. So we recognize that, but we had to be very intentional that we talking about black, and of course we care about all human beings. So that way people would know it. We were concentrating on blacks because we are the most targeted group in the world, but all of our allies, I hope, would know that we love everyone. We'll be there to support others, but we have to concentrate on us. So I'm glad you illustrating that the 300 white farmers, they have a role to play just like the 400 black farmers, which is the central role. So thanks for putting that out there. Now, Reverend Sampson in Chicago is a key example. So he's doing something similar. Do you know about Reverend Sampson?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So is that integrated or that's siloed? How you guys are coordinating?
Well, I mean, I think unfortunately in our community, I mean, collaboration and partnership is the hardest thing to accomplish sometimes, because unfortunately and fortunately, everybody has their own lanes. So my whole thing is, I mean, I don't force anything. I don't try to force a lane. I don't try to force collaboration. My whole
Yeah,
thing is, if Reverend Sampson needs anything, like I told him in many events, he can reach out to me and we'll assist him. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? That's just like everybody else in our community and other communities. You know what I'm saying? If you want to work together, we're with it. You know what I'm saying? But if it's not equitable and if it's not fair on both parties,
oh yeah.
I always feel that we can agree to disagree and keep going. You know,
It,
so
it,
so my whole thing is we work with a lot of organizations and we want to work with Reverend Sampson and I mean there's like a dozen other organizations in Chicago.
it,
But the whole thing about is just bringing it together.
Now, here's the good part, Ty, and that's why I'm glad we're doing the interview here. So the way we're built, our structure, there's 20 zip codes that Black people are the dominant group in Chicago, and those 20 zip codes have leaders in every zip code. So, for instance, when we talk about barbers, well, there's a barber all over the city. There's a barber in every zip code. So the way we are structured, we make certain that the people who live inside that zip code know the ones that are doing business in their zip code. So a barber out east don't have to be intimidated that we bring in West Side barbers to take away their customers. We keep it inside the zip code in which where the supplier is as well as the customer base. So essentially, unless we got 21 farmers, there's no competition because they all inside a different zip code. And so I think that's going to help us when you bring up the key point that we as Black people, unfortunately, find ourselves in these silos and not strategically being integrated. Unless it's 21, everyone to have a lane, and then we can actually then ask the leaders of those zip codes to concentrate. If you're in charge of the North Lawndale Farming Group and you're linked to Brother in Fort Wayne, then y'all just concentrate on that. Make that strong, get that to a certain level. Then we can talk about how to do broader things. But let's from a fundamental standpoint, let's just get the whole zip code on board. What do you think about that?
I'm with it. I mean, I think one step at a time. You know, we show every day our motto is together we're better and stronger. So
Mhm.
every bond that we create to create a better food system is a plus for us.
There you go. Good mindset, man. What's your giving back outside of the vocational and the jobs? That's solid. That's we need that. And I'm gonna tell you my hidden agenda on why I bring that up. What's your give back or your corporate responsibility inside the zip codes that you're operating in?
Well, I mean, I pretty much work in Chicago, throughout Indiana and Ohio. So in the last 3 years, we've helped distribute over 3 million pounds of food with our partners like Legacy Taste of the Gardens, People's Cooperative Market, UNIA, Collective Black People Movement, and several other cities throughout the Midwest. So my main goal is to provide healthy food to our community, either through distribution and donations or through host bulk and retail. But our ultimate goal is, I mean, I tell people my ultimate goal is I want to feed 10 million people. So we're on a good path, and we're just trying to build a better network. We're getting ready to go on tour to 5 cities to try to get different communities to start a human agriculture cooperative chapter, where they will be teaching their young people and their community members about farming and food distribution and the grant writing and non-for-profit, working through the non-for-profit sector.
Now, who you got? San Diego, California. You got any connects out there?
No, actually, I went to school in Northern California, so Oakland, San Francisco, the Bay Area. I love the Bay. I mean, I can't wait to go back there, and it's just so expensive. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
so
That's arguably only them in New York, man. Them in New York is just ungodly amounts of money to live. Now I bring up San Diego because on our end, that's who we'll be asking to support what you're doing because um, 60636, which is West Inglewood. That's Denise King. She's the leader for that zip code. And Denise King is responsible for staying in touch with San Diego. And they both are responsible for all things dealing with farming. And so, though, that's the link from 3-6 all the way to San Diego. And then San Diego has the list of all 20 cities that we're in from a farming perspective. So we got a good network, man. The first Monday of each month, we're gonna just stay in tune with you, and then just make sure we connect the dots and do what we can to support, making sure that this 10 million goal is met.
I appreciate it. And I mean, my whole thing is, I mean, starting from $40 and, to where we have is just, I want to teach young people how to take that same path. I never would have thought that I would be a 2024 President Biden presidential award winner. You know what I'm saying? Feeding over 1 million people. I would have never thought, growing up on the south side of Fort Wayne, that that I would be helping throughout our country. So I mean, anything is possible. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I mean, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, there are always going to be barriers, but you know, I, my plant died when in the third grade. I didn't know anything about farming. You know what I'm saying? And I just took a whole new look at on life. That farming is one of the pillars of sustainability anywhere in the world.
and,
Yeah.
and farming is manufacturing, is food, right? And manufacturing are the jobs that really can put a lot of people to work. So we need more manufacturing, not all things being sales and service. So that's a good thing, man. And like I said, we're gonna coordinate with you on that. What talk about the tour, man, so people can get ready where you headed to.
On February 15th, we'll be in Atlanta at the Omalala Griot Afrocentric Museum, with the UNIA, People's Cooperative Market, which is and Three Flocks Farm. They're ranchers. Maya Urban Industries, which is a regenerative urban farming organization. Hereafter Farm with Brother Farrakhan. He's Farrakhan Muhammad. He's actually creating housing development developments in Georgia and Arkansas, and we are working on a plan in Indiana. And then Mothers Helping Mother, a group of women who are basically starting women's shelters and helping us with a veteran shelter that we're working on in the state of Indiana. And basically, what we're doing is, networking with our other communities to assist them with farming, food distribution, some of the other social programs that we have, grant writing, credit repair, because we know every every community needs these type of programs and initiatives.
Now you mentioned, I'm glad I know Sister Erica. She's the leader of Chatham. She's the governor for Chatham. She's part owner of part of the Here and After, so that's good. She's gonna love hearing you say you're coordinating with that. Ranchers, what's the difference? What is a rancher? If you don't
Well,
mind breaking it down.
they raise sheep, goats, and chickens. So I'm a farmer rancher. So the farmer part is the vegetable and fruit and herbs, and then the ranching part is the livestock. So I also have cattle in Illinois that I work with, Black Haven Ranch. So our whole thing is, I know we can't do it all, so we partner with other, farmers and ranchers and professionals to create, just like you, created a network of experts. So when it's time for action, oh, and I make sure, let me say, put that in there too. Not only are they farmer rancher, but they're people of action. Okay. They're people of action. You can have all those other things, but if they're not about that action, I mean, then time will stand still. So I'm just so thankful for the people that I do work with. They're about action. They know that they're about business, and that we get to it.
No, no doubt. So that's Saturday, February 15th, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, sir. And then
Okay.
and then our plan is to be in Chicago, April 23rd, and then in Lexington, Kentucky, April 26th. And when we're working on a date in North Carolina as well.
Excellent. So everyone that will watch this video, share it to your family and friends in those jurisdictions there. How do people reach you?
We have our website is Human Agricultural Co-op, COOP.org, or Human Agricultural Co-op, COOP at gmail.com. Or our grocery store, UCG Fort Wayne, FortWayne.com, or UCG Fort Wayne at gmail.com.
We got a brother Muhammad down there in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm gonna make sure I dig his number up and send this to him as well. Anything I left out that you want to bring up?
No, our whole thing is just, I'm just so thankful to be with like-minded individuals that want the betterment of our community, that aren't, utilizing the sister system to, to advance. A lot of people are making profit off of our pain, and we have to identify those people, and we have to attack the system every day. So I'm just thankful for you all, and just keep fighting. Our motto again is together we're better and stronger, and just get with me. And if you're about that business, about that life, about changing the narrative for Black people around the country, get at me, please.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching, you guys. You know what to do. Share this video every first Monday. Y'all know Farming Day. Every household, let's make sure we do something different. Peace.
Peace.